Thank you for joining me on my masterclass. Now, recently, some of you have been asking me to comment on the age-old debate, which is better to invest in between stocks and between crypto. So, if you want to ask me, I'm going to tell you that you don't need to compare. You just need to invest in both of them. Invest in stocks and invest in crypto. So you don't want to just invest in stocks or crypto. It's not an either or situation. You can invest in both of them. You can invest in both of them because they both have different risk levels and they both have like different things that you can compare. For instance, with the stock market, we have like a 100-year history that we can compare with the stock market. We don't have that for crypto. At most that we have for crypto is about maybe 10, 11 years. So you'd want to do with them. It's just like, for instance, now you have like a drug. You have a drug that's been around for like maybe over 100 years, like penicillin, and then you have a drug that is quite new, and maybe something that is like Remitly, something like that, that's quite new. And then you begin to ask yourself, which is better? Listen, it's better to go with the drug that's been around for over a decade, not because it's better, but because we can know the long-term effects of that drug versus the newer drug, which might even be better. But because we're human beings, we have limited knowledge about the future, so we can only know what we know from the past. So having said that, I'll tell you, in terms of return on your investment, crypto is better. Crypto is better. But the thing is, crypto has more risk than the stock market. It has more risk than the stock market. I'm going to give you a couple of facts, for instance, now. If you look at the biggest company on the stock market right now, you're talking about Apple. Apple. Now, on the NASDAQ and on most stock exchanges, it's known as AAPL. AAPL, but the name of the company is Apple. So if you had invested $1,000 in Apple 10 years ago, because I did, so I know the facts. If you invested 10 years ago, so maybe in 2013, I actually invested in, I think it was in 2009. But if you invested in Apple in 2013, $1,000, today, your $1,000 will be worth about $12,500. It's worth about $12,500, which is quite big, which is, it's reasonable because you're looking at that's a return on your investment of about 1,200%, which is very, very good. It's really good. Now, if you invested in Apple maybe 5 years ago, your return on your investment would have been a bit lower. It would have been slightly about less than $4,000. It would have been actually $3,900. That's how much your money would be right now. So, it's still not bad, And then if you'd invested a year ago, that is in 2022, today your money will be worth about $1,100, which is still not bad, which is about, a 10% return on investment. But then if you had invested $1,000 on Bitcoin 10 years ago, today your money will be worth $245,000. $245,000. So you can see that the return on your investment on a crypto like Bitcoin is just, it's way above board, it's way above board. But then there's the thing, it's like, there's also more risk with Bitcoin. There's also more risk with Bitcoin. So if you had invested, maybe 5 years ago on Bitcoin, you wouldn't have had that much money. And then if you invested a year ago on Bitcoin, right now you'd be at a loss. Maybe you'd have lost about $100. So you can see that there is more risk with cryptocurrency, but then more opportunity for return on your investment, a big payday. And there's less risk with stock market, but then there is a lesser return on your investment. So the best thing to do is not to compare and say, okay, well, you can compare, but it's not to say, okay, I'm going to go with one or the other. The best thing to do is to have a portfolio. That's why they use that word portfolio. So you have a different mix of investments in it. So you have crypto, you have stocks, you have rates, you have ETFs, you have treasury bonds and treasury bills, and then you also have, other kinds of investments, like maybe you have precious metal that you're investing in. But you don't just want to have all your investments. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. It's a very, very risky thing to do. But if you're going to ask me, I would say that the better investment from my own point of view, if you are a risk taker like me, is obviously crypto. There is no basis for comparison. Crypto is much better than almost anything right now. The only thing that I would say that is better than crypto in 2023 might be NFTs, and that's a big maybe. It might be NFTs. NFTs, if you're lucky with NFTs, you can make a very big payday. But not everybody's going to be lucky. So I would stick with cryptos. So if you ask me again, in a yes or no, I would say that crypto is much better than stock market, than even the S&P 500, than even gold ETF, than even real estate investment trust, than even treasury bills. But crypto comes with risk, and so you have to be aware of that. So for instance, even this year, 2023, crypto has still outperformed the stock market. There's no basis for comparison. Crypto has largely outperformed the stock market, seriously. So for instance, if you had invested in a stock like Microsoft, if you invested in a stock like Microsoft, maybe at the beginning of the year, you invested in Microsoft. By now, maybe you invested $1,000. By now, your money would be worth probably $1,050. Yeah, about 1,000. Because if you invested last year, you'd have gotten $1,100. So if you invest maybe at the beginning of the year, you'd have gotten about 1,050. But if you look at what's happening with the crypto world, if you invested in maybe a crypto like Bitcoin Cash with $1,000, maybe at the beginning of the year, by now that $1,000 would have multiplied by a factor of about 3, and you'd have gotten about $3,223. So crypto is still outperforming the stock market. But then, there are other issues with crypto. Crypto is it's a currency. It's not a product. They don't have like a marketing product or service that they're selling. They're selling a currency. They're selling an exchange, a way by which you can buy and you can sell. It's just a means of exchange. A tender, a means of exchange, but they're not selling a product. So anything can happen, like we've seen what happened with some crypto exchanges that have collapsed and they've gone. That's part of the risk that you're talking about. But if you're going to ask me, I will tell you, it is better to invest in crypto. But don't just invest in crypto, have a mixed portfolio. Now, my name is Ronald Mokri, the Apostle of Prosperity.
No travels all around the world. I hope you get inspired about what you see. Apostle of greatness, Reno is a master. Only one man against the whole world in large. Fighting with the monsters, poverty I can't stand. That's why Reno is